Hello everybody and welcome back to Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, where in today's video we're continuing building on this army. So, in the last episode, we made this army. Because in the last video, we made this giant army that is taking quite a beating on my FPS. But the thing is, it still can't defeat the undefeatable unit. Or, it's not really undefeatable, seeing as I can just go like this. So it's a super peasant versus Kevin, and then it's a pretty one-sided match. Huh, I thought it'd die faster than that. Huh. Interesting. He lasted more than 5 seconds. But my point is, this army isn't strong enough. And if I want to make it stronger, I just gotta keep expanding it, because I'm still following the rules that I said in the last episode, that I can't use the super peasant or the dark peasant, I can't use any custom units, and I can't use the cheerleader. That's not the fashion that the cheerleader is. I can't use the cheerleader. So let's go into a time lapse and let's build up some more of the army. Remember this kid? This is him now. Feel old yet? Well, it's quite a big army now. Or, I didn't really add that much more to the army. I mostly just filled in the gaps. And on the side here, we'll get to all of this here later. On the side here, we've got 4 Hawachas on each side with some boats, some longships, so that they're gonna come there around about the time where it's like they've kind of forced through the starting lines. So then they just come in, create a big splash when they throw the boats, and then also have a couple spare units that aren't really gonna do much. It's mostly just that main splash. And then of course the Hawachas just for Hawachas. Then here, I've added a whole bunch. So I've added some tree giants on each side. So 3 tree giants on each side. Also some necromancers on both sides, which I hopefully hope that they're gonna be pretty useful. Also some sword masters on each side, some pirate queens on each side, and some senseis on each side. No, not senseis, shoguns on each side. Also some divine arbiters, I think they're called, which they're basically just, they're basically just gunslingers mixed with ballistas. Then in the back here, we actually have a row of Vlads, which it might sound very not useful to just have Vlads here, but they're actually pretty useful because there, say that, completely random units, say that we're fighting a super peasant, say completely random unit, not because I really want this army to be able to defeat the super peasant, no, why would that be a case, no. So, then the Vlads could do their special attack, throw up the spikes, and impale the super peasant, making him stand still. Then behind that, we have a metric button of tree giants. And then on the side here, we then have 4 pumpkin catapults on each side. And then, of course, the row of wind ladies and electro boys behind, which we already had. I feel like I did nice in that time lapse. It's just the army isn't any bigger, and I want it to be bigger. I want it to be this density, but by a metric butt ton. And I also really want to add in more super boxers. So I think just to start off, let's put some super boxers behind these catapults. So boop 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 boop. There we go. And that's for that catapult row thing. And then this is for the other row. And then I also really want to do something. That is, I want to put a dragon here. And then a dragon here. And then in the middle of them, I'm actually gonna put a banner bearer. So it'll just stand there. They won't be able to move. But if any units come close, they'll just get flame breathed on. And also, I just noticed we're this far into the video. And I've only placed down 201 units. We need to get moving. Let's take a mega time lapse. Not just a normal time lapse. A mega time lapse. Because if we can manage to place 1,000 units in the first video, we can manage to place another 1,000 in this video, right? The army is quite a lot bigger, and I'm getting quite a lot more lag spikes. Like, I don't know for sure, but it feels like I'm down at like 10 FPS or something. It is really taking a beating on my computer. Anyways, let's just try and showcase everything then. And I'm also just gonna try and do most of it in one spot so that it doesn't lag that much, or it's gonna lag, it's just it doesn't show the lag that much with my movement and stuff. So on the sides we have 2 scared elephants. Then behind the Thors we have a line of fencers. You can barely see them there. And then behind those fencers we have some dragons, just so if anybody comes even remotely close to these super strong lines. So we've kind of got the side parts, which is that's some big lag spikes, which is all of these. So the horses, Gatling guns. I also added in some pharaohs over there. Just all of these. That's kind of the sidelines. So not as compact, but in stronger forces, kind of, and kind of, to what's the name? Word donkey thing. Words complement. So kind of just to complement the actual army. Then we've got the front lines, which is what we're looking at right now, which is kind of weak but has the numbers. And then we've got this, which has the numbers and is very strong. Then, of course, we have our super boxers. And then also some celestial ages. Let's go with that. So they're basically just anti-arrow. No projectile can penetrate them. So they're kind of just a shield, and then behind that we have some Hawachas, which can then shoot over them and just rain down arrows. Then behind the Hawachas we have some catapults. Now, the reason that I chose Hawachas and catapults is because they're not like the ballista, which fires in a straight line. They fire like up, kind of. Then they can fire over the celestial ages, and then not make the celestial ages fire them off into a different direction. But then behind the dragons we have some kings. Then behind the kings we have a row of shadow walkers, like we didn't already have enough of those. Then behind those we have a row of quick draws, which, if something can defeat all of the tree giants and ice giants and all of the strong units there, for some reason be able to do that, they can then make it through and then just get shot down. Then behind those we have some musketeers, and I was actually really surprised that I haven't used any musketeers in this army yet. Like, they're so good units and I love them. But then on the side of the catapults and the Hawachas we have some mammoths, and what the heck is up with that mammoth's eye? And then let's move the camera a little bit onto the more chaotic place of this. This here is our ranged units, and yeah, it's very chaotic. So let's start on the side parts here. So this here is mirrored on the other side too, so we have just a shield of celestial ages. Then behind that we have a Zeus, just to fire lightning bolts. Then we also have 2 Deadeyes. Then we have a Divine Arbiter, which can just rain down the pain. We've also got a whole bunch of gunslingers, basically just downgraded Divine Arbiters. But because the Divine Arbiter needs to shoot in a line, and I don't know if then the projectile will then get deflected off the celestial ages shields. So then we just have those. Then we also have some barrel rollers here. Now that is because all of these units aren't gonna move. So, and then if a melee unit then comes, because it must be melee units because of the shields, then that melee unit is gonna get blown up if it comes there. Then we also have 2 Gatling guns and 1 Hawacha. And then for the actual ranged units. So first we have a row of bone mages. I don't really expect them to be inside of the stay here circles, kind of. I don't expect them to do that because they're really close to the edge, but they're basically just, if any units come, they're boned. Pun intended. Then behind those we have some Valkyries, where again, like in the front lines, they're just gonna fly over the bone mages. Then behind those we have a row of So then we have a row of those. Then on the side we have some ballistas. Then behind the Artemises we have some more celestial aegis. Then of course we have our first row of stay here units. Then behind those we have some Ulers. Then behind those we have then our second row of stay here units, and then behind those we then have some caterpillar bolts. Then on the side of those caterpillar bolts we then have some sword masters, which if anybody for some reason then comes from the side, they'll just get sword. But that is actually our main army, and it's really big. How many units is that, by the way? 1,663 units. Now, notice how I said main army, because I still have a trick up my sleeve. And that is the unit that I've been wanting to use this whole time. That unit that is very, very deep in my heart, in the explosive section. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna have some random batches of them just around here, just super far away, just to have some random batches of them. Am I now staying still? I think I am. Just having like a couple of them. Like that, yeah. And they're gonna go towards the enemy. So then, when the enemy has finally broken through all of the lines, finally almost to victory, they're just gonna get blown up. And also, if they haven't come through the lines and the barrel rollers are for some reason really fast, they're still not gonna stand any chances because, well, it's still explosives. Yeah, they may blow up friendly units, but still, they're explosives. But then, it's for the big thing. And that is a mixture between barrel rollers and banner bearers. Because what I'm about to do is place a banner bearer. That was very laggy. And then fill up the circle with barrel rollers. Okay, just like that. Now that's mostly filled up. And then, just because I need to, let's put in Kevin. Not God Edition, just Kevin. And he's gonna be for two purposes. He is, one, going to be the leader of this army. Because, I mean, it's Kevin, right? Of course, the test dummy of this game is gonna be the leader of the strongest army in this game. And then the second purpose is that, because these barrel rollers, they're probably gonna be the last units left on the battlefield, because the other barrel rollers are gonna roll into the army, so they won't be alive. The army will be dead if they're finally gonna make it over to here. So then, it's gonna blow up, and Kevin will be left. And you know what? Something I really now wanna do is give him some priest. And you know what? I think this is actually our army. Look at this. It is really big. And also, although the barrel rollers don't seem to be there off in this corner, that's a little like over in this corner, they're still there. They're just really small. So yeah, our army is very gigantinormous. But of course, there's only one way to see if it's gigantinormous enough. Oh yes, it is time. The super peasant versus this. Many of the factors in this army, which will serve a big major better thing, make the army better, is focused around it facing off against the whole army, not a single unit. But I'm hoping I'll still be able to make the super peasant go deaded. So I'm actually kind of nervous for this. Well, I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's go. Okay, so I don't know when it happened, but Blue Victory. I was just watching some YouTube, waiting, and then my mom came in because she wanted us to do like a bajillion store things and like fix my glasses and whatever, because they're kind of broken-ish. But then when I looked up, it said Blue Victory. So my army actually won. My army actually defeated a super peasant. And all of the barrel rollers didn't even come. No way, he didn't even touch. No. So just the melee units alone can defeat a super peasant. Actually, I won't name it Impossible Battle because there's so many things that has been named that. Let's call it Devo 37 Impossible Battle. Because I want there to be able to, you can just search up my name on the workshop and you can find all of my creations. But now let's upload it. And let's upload it as challenging, powerful, other, and pop culture because it's a video. Then description, I don't really know what to put here. This is a text that your reading right now. So now let's upload it. And uploading. Upload successful. But guys, that will have to wrap things up for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you another time. This will probably take a whole bunch of time to load in. But yeah, for now, goodbye.